Hello everybody, Figment here, back with the final episode of Preparing for DEADMAN miniseries, the series to help you thrive and survive in DEADMAN Annihilation. And it's finally DEADMAN's Eve. Today is the day for routing. Before we jump in, I want to say it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to taking all of your precious tuna in DEADMAN. I also want to explain the route a little bit. This route is not the best route. I have made pretty much this entire miniseries around completely brand new players to DEADMAN, and with that, those players need a route that matches. Firstly, this route assumes no alts. In fact, if you do have an alt and plan on using it, I wouldn't do this route. Unless you really like it, of course. Alts are incredibly powerful in DEADMAN, and I want to provide something that straight up assumes you are flying solo. Secondly, with no flame to other routes, I've taken an excessive amount of time to account for any possible errors. There is one thing common every single time you follow another person's route. Something goes wrong. Always. I don't want new players to get frustrated when they get to a step and then find out it doesn't work. I've personally been there, and it can be extremely annoying not knowing where to go next, or if you've messed up the entire thing. I'll give a possible example here before we start. Most people probably know about the medium diary, fairy ring roulette, that's a part of every route right now. Specifically speaking, the CIR fairy ring actually has a hidden requirement on it that most people don't know about it, and it's to visit Korend once. Now, we do have Client of Korend auto-completed, so maybe this is also unlocked, but I do mention in the route itself that it is possible that this will not work. Therefore, I just simply didn't calculate it. That singular step alone, by the way, if it doesn't work of course, will break at least 5 of the routes I've seen immediately, as they require those points to get a sigil unlock. I don't want that. I don't want that frustration. I want players to have a good time. Well, it's DEADMAN after all, so that might not last long. Into the route. This route focuses primarily on getting ranged up before the first breach, and then doing breach 1 in bracket 2 with full protection. The goal is to grab 43 prayer, some easy points, and then bolster stats ASAP. Hitting bracket 2 from range is actually quite difficult this time around, as the bracket cap increased from 51 to 60. We do have better access to DPS sigils this time though, with depth strikes and consistency being dirt cheap. I will say it's probably unlikely that you're going to hit 70 range for a crystal bow from the elf storyline unlock before the first breach. Well, unless you find a Scurious Mass and get a few spine drops. It's also unlikely that without alting, you won't have enough money or time to get the mage levels for an Iban staff unlock, which is also an unlock from the elf storyline. Therefore, assume to train to 40 defense in some mix of high 60s range and mid 50s health. There's no right answer on stats, but if you can hit 70 range in time, do it. Just watch the clock and make sure you have enough room to prepare for the breach and get your last level to put you up a bracket. I do have an apology to make here. I am new to making videos, and I honestly did not manage my time well, putting out a video every day for the past 6 days pretty much. I had some real life responsibilities catch up that I had to tend to, and unfortunately that will be coming at the cost of not being able to do a walkthrough of the route with you on screen. So instead, I'm going to voice over my Google Sheet and explain the walkthrough there. Once again, my apologies. Alright, jumping into the intro page. This is nothing new if you've seen my planning video. If you haven't, go check it out. And also check out all the socials here, especially Layrite's. They did an amazing job on the spreadsheet. They even have done the past couple thumbnails. What do you think of today's thumbnail? Let me know in the comments below. Moving to the main route. We have a couple columns here. Objective, which is your task. This is your instructions. It's telling you what to do. You have note. These are additional notes that I didn't want to clog the instructions with. Things like, watch out for your Chronicle teleport options, because I bet some of you have left-click teleport on right now, and I promise you, you want to change that. You will mess up. You have point gain, this is how many points you gained for the row, and you have total points, which is just the running count. Okay, let's jump in. We are going to talk to Skippy and teleport instantly to Varrock. DEADMAN has an option to skip to a couple of different starting zones. We are picking Varrock. We are immediately going to hoof it west to the West Bank. On the way, we're going to equip our Drayman, Chronicle, and DEADMAN gear, being the top, bottom, and cloak. Just watch out for those Chronicle options, guys. It's both the inventory and the equipment tab that you want to remove that left click on. Then we're going to claim the Ruthless Ranger starter sigil. This sigil is not claimed from the DEADMAN skull. You need to claim this via the interface. I don't exactly know where it is. I think it might be next to achievement diaries or equipment. But it's one of those. You'll be able to find it really easy. But this is also going to put an item into your inventory. So you also want to bank this. I forgot to add that. I'll add it now. You want to bank that right after. After you bank that and the sword in the looting bag, you want to pick up your axe and tinderbox. Then you're going to run north and chop one tree and then burn a log. And then you're going to make your way to the spirit tree. You're going to go to the grand tree and then back to complete 2 diary tasks for 50 points. This will then give you enough points to be able to buy the Sigil of Litheness. This is an extremely important sigil in pretty much everybody's route, as it allows you to bypass all agility shortcut restrictions. And it also gives you passive agility XP. It's extremely good. Next up, we have the Fairy Ring Roulette, which is just going to all of these locations. That's all you have to do is just Fairy Ring to ALS, AIR, BIS, and then DIR. CIR is what I explained earlier. This might not work. It's not calced, as you can see over here, as this would say 125 if it was. Either way, you're going to Chronicle after, and then book it to the museum. You're going to do the quiz, claim your 2 lamps up top, talk to Hag Halen downstairs, and then claim your Clerk XP, which gives you 27 mining. Now, it's very important, you cannot bank these lamps, and I'll mention why in a second. You then buy Consistency and Death Strikes, and you hoof it to Wildy Green Dragons. These dragons drop 2 bones per kill, so you need 4 kills to get 8 bones. I advise to ignore the hides, as it's kind of going to be a cluster there, and you don't have an anti-dragon shield. So you need to be careful. The respawns are probably increased, so they might be like 5-second respawns, and you don't want to get caught with your pants down and then get backshotted by some dragonfire. You are then going to bank everything at Ferox except your bones and lamps. Drain your prayer on the way to the Chaos Altar, and then pray at the altar for an easy task. Use all of your bones. It doesn't really matter what prayer level you end up. This only matters if you're trying to do like a really specific low prayer build, or you want to stay at 43, but it's pretty easy to just double lamp prayer here, and you should be pretty close to your goal. If you're a little under 43, don't worry, that's fine. You're then going to die to Chaos Fanatic. Do not get baited to go to the KBD lever. I'm pretty sure you can't teleport in there with the spiders hitting you. Like, you get an 8-second timer before you can teleport. So I'm like pretty confident you can't teleport here. Okay, you just died, you need to re-gear. Grab a couple tuna and run into the Stronghold of Security. Now, depending on the amount of XP you gained in your combat level, you might be able to skip the first portal completely. Just click it and see if you go through. After you get your 10,000 gold, Chronicle out and enter the Champions Guild, and then buy a coif. You're then going to run north into Varrock and buy a silk from the clothes store. This is an easy task to view the clothes store, and you'll use the silk later for another easy task. You're going to buy a newspaper, buy full studded, and a Dorgashman crossbow from the ranging shop. This is a DEADMAN exclusive thing. There will be a Dorg crossbow and bolt packs that you can buy. Buy as many bolts as possible. You're then going to buy and attune the Rigorous Ranger sigil, and then bank it after. You're going to withdraw your starter bow, Dorg bow, both studded pieces, all your bone bolts, Chronicle, skull, and full tuna. Now you have a couple of options. You probably have over 30 minutes of protection left at this point, and there might not be that many people at Skurius yet. But if there is, and you know a streamer or clan is massing Scurious right now, go there. This will be your best XP, by far, hands down, no questions. It will be your best. However, you're not using an ult in this guide, so you might need some money, and zombie pirates aren't bad. They are a little nerfed. However, even last DEADMAN, I was able to get more than enough money for my first breach. As soon as you have the points to unlock the Sigil of Restore, do it. It will help a lot. With 4 minutes of protection left, if you have any zombie keys, run to the chest to the east and open them. After that, log out. You're going to be tele-blocked. You need to log out before you can tele. You cannot chronicle out here. You have to home tele. Learn your age from Hans, and then chronicle again. If you have some raw cash from the zombie pirates, you can pick up a green d'hide chaps and vams from the Champions Guild. If you have some alcohols, you might be able to run to the general store, sell some, and then chronicle back to buy them. After that, you're going to run to the West Bank, deposit any important loot you got like ice sacks or blighted food, pull out tuna, and you're going to hoof it to rock crabs inside of Relica. These are 10 steps from a safe zone. These are perfect for new players to DEADMAN who might be afraid of not having protection timer anymore. So just train up your stats here until the first breach. Now, it's unlikely you get 70 like I said. So get to 60 and assess your time and how much you have remaining. I don't know what the DPS is going to be like with def strikes and consistency if you're going to actually be able to hit all your goals by the first breach. That's kind of the main reason I didn't want to put too much in a starting route. I don't know how much DPS this extra accuracy is going to give because hitting 70 is quite difficult. That being said, scrolling down, these should be your sigils for the breach. You should have Ruthless Ranger, Rigorous Ranger, and Consistency. This is a ton of accuracy for the first breach, and you should also have Resistance and Restoration, which will help with staying alive. Any money you have, make sure you get some prayer pots. 1 or 2 are more than fine. If you're confident flicking, you don't even need them. Just make sure you get high healing food if you can. Remember, these breach monsters are going to hit you, and some of them hit through protection prayers. If Bando spawns and you're praying melee and he ranges you, you're going to get chunked out because you have no stats. You're just squishy. So make sure you buy high healing food. You want the most impact at the breach as possible. Down in the green section, we have some other things you can do if you end early. So Monk's Friend, Haziel, and Fight Arena are all really fast. You don't need to worry about losing anything. You can go do these naked. Sea Slug and Gertrude's Cat, same thing. You can go do them naked. Don't have to worry about risking anything. I put diaries here. I don't want to list them all because I left a lot of diaries off this list since the focus was primarily on combat. But just look up the diary list. There's like 50 of them that you can fit in here for fast points if you have the time. Also, you can grab the Deception Relic and just start thieving immediately. This can be a great backup plan if you ever die and you need money. Wealthy Citizens are like 200k an hour, just AFK. So if you're at work or watching your kid or something, it's free money, essentially. Once again, apologies for rushing through this, but I do believe this route will be great for new players. It's very simple and very easy to not mess up. It also allows you to experience the first breach without any worry about getting attacked by other players, and that should be able to kickstart your DEADMAN journey with plenty of drops. That being said, I do have a second, significantly more refined route that I will be doing myself. This route builds into a 60 attack, 50 defense account, meant to power farm points in bracket 3. The route also pretty much hard requires 1 ult, but advises 2. It is doable without an ult, it just won't be nearly as effective, so keep that in mind. If you're interested in this route, Twitch subscribers who link their Twitch in Discord will automatically be granted access to a channel in my Discord that I have shared my route in. There's also some other goodies in there coming soon. That's all for this video. I'll be streaming all of DEADMAN on Twitch and attempting to put out an episode every single day. I have a lot of back-end stuff I have to get done, so I'll see you all in the next one.